Welcome to ESPN's Saturday Primetime. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. And they're calling the Hogs here today at Bud Walton Arena. It is packed, it is warm, it is loud, and this is a program in desperate need of a victory here this afternoon. Can they get it against one of the top teams in the conference as the Kentucky Wildcats are here in Fayetteville? Moments ago, the pregame thoughts of Arkansas coach Eric Musselman.
Kentucky. The right mental space, the right commitment, we win the game tonight. Everybody got that? We win the game tonight. All right, that's up to you. I'm not putting on a uniform. That's up to you guys. Everybody got it? All right, let's go. Let's get this.
This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster. As we welcome you inside Bud Walton Arena, Dan Schulman and Jay Billis, very glad that you are with us. And let's start with the visiting Cats. Unquestionably, Jay, one of the best offensive teams in the nation, but not so much Tuesday night in Columbia.
Well, Tuesday night they played South Carolina, which is basically the Wisconsin of the Southeastern Conference. They can slow the tempo, they don't turn it over, they don't foul. But Kentucky's going to have to improve on the defensive end. They can't rely on just out-offensing the best teams. They're going to have to get better defensively. They've given up 85 points a game in conference play. That's not good enough.
There's a lot going on right now for Arkansas. They're just 1-5 in league play. And we got word about half an hour ago that senior guard Devontae Devo Davis has, quote, stepped away from the program. That's all the information the statement had. Where are the Hogs right now?
You know, there's been some curious outbursts from Devo Davis. He was kicked out of a game recently, got technical fouls. You're either all in or you're all out. And right now, Devo Davis has decided he's all out. But for Arkansas, they have to move along and move forward together without him. They've got to do a great job in transition defense, and they have to take good shots in this game.
There's also some health news on the Kentucky side. And with that info, here's Jess Sims.
Hi, guys. Yes, with Thiero back in the lineup after missing the last 7 games, Kentucky was really looking forward to their first game with a fully healthy roster. But unfortunately, Rob Dillingham will be supporting the team from the sideline tonight as he recovers from an illness.
So Dillingham on the bench, not expected to play. Thank you, Jess. Thiero not only back, but starting. So there's a lot going on both sides here. And boy, you and I were here a couple of months ago when this building was as loud as any place we've ever been. When Arkansas, without Tremont Mark, the Hogs' leading scorer, beat Duke. Now they've got Mark, obviously now, though he didn't play in the last game because of migraine headaches, but he is back in the lineup today, and it's going to have to be all hands on deck for the Hogs in this Sonic blockbuster here this afternoon. Away we go, Kentucky ball off the opening tip. DJ Wagner, SEC Freshman of the Week a week ago. The 3rd time this year he has won that award. Reeves can't get a shot off. Shot clock at 15.
This Arkansas team starting out man-to-man. They're a man-to-man team. Their help side defense has to be on point.
And a weak side rebound for Mark. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care. Caleb Battle, L. Ellis, Mark is back. Lawson and Graham up front. Arkansas coming off a 26-point loss to Ole Miss. Their only SEC win by 1 point over A&M and Jay. The 5 losses in league play by an average of 22 points per game.
Yeah, it has not been pretty for Arkansas of late. They're 10-9 on the season, just 1-5 in the SEC, and their numbers are frightening. I mean, they're 123rd in the country in offensive efficiency, 112th in defensive efficiency. And their talent suggests they should be better, but they have to be more together.
And one thing Eric Musselman is looking for in terms of togetherness is more ball movement on the offensive end. They count, they chart the number of passes in each game. The goal is 200. And he said they've been in the 120s and 140s way too often recently.
Well, they've had a lot more dribbles than they have passes in their games.
Not the ratio they're looking for as they turn it over. A look at the Cats starting 5, including the return of Thiero, who drives and misses. Aaron Bradshaw comes down with it and is fouled. John Calipari was preaching time and time again to the morning shoot around today. You got to be tough, guys. He went back to that South Carolina game and just felt the Gamecocks, they issued a challenge to generally a young Kentucky team, and that physically, Jay, he didn't feel his team stood up to it like they needed to.
Well, South Carolina doesn't always show on film is really physical. They're physical on screens and cuts. And Kentucky's got a young team, and they just were not prepared for that level of physicality.
Here's one of the veterans, Trey Mitchell, who can't convert. Ellis, long look ahead to Jalen Graham. Ellis baseline, tries to thread the needle. Graham comes up with it. Now he's looking for help. Got to get out of the
3 seconds.
too, yeah. And again, kind of a disjointed possession here for the Razorbacks.
It's tough for Ellis to blow by people. He needs to pass and cut.
Shot clock running down again. And these are the kinds of shots Arkansas has had the last couple of games. Again, not a lot of ball movement, and late in the shot clock, low percentage looks.
Well, Tremont Mark didn't have a choice because the shot clock was going down, but they've got to get better off-ball movement against Kentucky. And this is a good shot blocking team. Arkansas, they do a good job of challenging at the rim.
Ellis in transition. Arkansas strikes first.
Just a poor job by Kentucky of finding the ball in transition, not locating shooters.
Reeves has it knocked away. The Hogs have it.
That's when you know Arkansas is at their best, when they're getting deflections and steals. Those have not been as plentiful this season as they were last season.
Caleb Battle a little strong on the three, and it's down to Thiero, who is fouled by Graham.
The shot goes up, and Kentucky getting back in transition. This was not a quick break, but they're just jogging back. Nobody communicating, pointing, saying, I got this guy, find Ellis. First thing you have to do is find the shooters and scorers in transition and stop the ball. Kentucky did not do that. They just gave away a basket.
And speaking of shooters, Sheppard has checked in early for Kentucky. Thiero to the bench. Good hands again, this time Mark, but it still belongs to the Wildcats. Eric Musselman is fired up, and he knows there's still time to turn this around. They were 1-5 in league play last year, went 7-5 the rest of the way, wound up going to the Sweet 16. Now, they had a lot more NBA level talent last year than they did this year, but there is still time to turn it around if you're the Hogs, but in his mind, it's got to start today. Sheppard on the drive, left hand, won't go.
A good job by Caleb Battle to get down and rebound. The guards have to help the big guys in defensive rebounding.
Brown wanted a foul on Wagner. Bodying up on Ellis, who spins, scoops, and too strong off the window. Good job by Mark to stay in front of Reeves. Mitchell for a three to get Kentucky on the board.
Trey Mitchell is having an outstanding season. His last 3 games, 18 of 23 from the field, averaging 17 a game. He's the most stable, consistent performer on this Kentucky team.
Yeah, they are extremely young, but with a couple of obvious exceptions in Mitchell and Reeves. Mark over Reeves.
Such a tough shot. Now backpedaling, you got to turn and sprint. You're not going to backpedal and stop Kentucky.
What a block by Battle. Erasing that attempt. And Mark with tremendous speed to the other end of the floor.
Dan, that's how you turn defense into offense. A spectacular defensive play leads to a run out.
Reeves misses the three. He's having a great year. Better than 19 a game, shooting 43% from beyond the arc. And he had 37 in this building last year in a Kentucky win right at the end of the regular season.
Well, Antonio Reeves may be the best scorer in the Southeastern Conference. He's leading the conference in three-point percentage, about 43%, and he's hit 46 of them.
Graham over Bradshaw. Arkansas by 4.
This is just what Arkansas needed. Get off to a good start so you're not playing from behind.
Reeves with a floater, too strong. Arkansas ball.
So far, Arkansas has been physical on the defensive glass. They're looking to hit somebody.
Kentucky just 1 for 9 from the field. 5 minutes and change into this game. Ellis looking for the ball screen.
Ellis needs to take his man down to the level of the screen. Wagner just got right over that.
And a timeout on the floor. Lawson appears to be bleeding, which is why we've got a timeout. An eventful first 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And as Jay said, just the kind of start that Arkansas was looking for. They've got an early 4-point lead against the Cats with Al Ellis leading the way. "30 seasons ago, 1994, Arkansas, what a team they had that year. Scotty Thurman with a shot that held up as the game winner over Duke. Corliss Williamson had a phenomenal season. And the Hall of Famer, Nolan Richardson, who is here at the game today. They won the national championship. Just a great, great era for Arkansas basketball. And Coach Richardson, as he often is, Jay, is in the house here today. You had a chance to speak with him.
Well, what an honor to speak with Nolan Richardson. It always is. Took this program to the Final Four in 1990 with Lee Mayberry and Todd Day. Won it all in 94 and then almost won it all again in 95 when they lost to UCLA in the title game.
And those are Coach Muss's shoes here today. A tribute to Coach Richardson. Very cool as he is wearing those on the sideline. It's an early 7-3 lead for Arkansas.
Kentucky 1 of 9 from the field to start. A little middle pick and roll, and Mekhi Mitchell rolled right to the basket, was wide open, just couldn't complete it.
Onyenso is into the game for Kentucky. So is Justin Edwards, who normally starts. Didn't today. Has a bit of soreness in his leg, but is expected to be able to play some pretty heavy minutes, and he is in there right now.
Arkansas's defensive rebounding has been excellent to start this game. And Jalen Graham, who transferred in from Arizona State, where he was all Pac-12 second team, he seems to play his best in the biggest games. And he has started off very well in this one.
And given that they're 1-5 in the league, and let's be honest, tip it a reeling, this is a huge game for Arkansas, don't you think?
No question.
Sheppard turns the corner, can't get it to go. Kentucky cannot buy one right now.
That's where Arkansas shot blocking might have gotten into the head of Reed Sheppard a little bit. He should have taken that all the way to the rim instead of stopping for a floater.
Mitchell looking for Mark. There's the handoff, and Edwards the foul.
And that was a good job by Tremont Mark of setting up that dribble handoff. He just took Justin Edwards in a little bit, then came out. And Edwards had to reach in to keep him from coming off that dribble handoff. Watch, he just takes him in. It's almost like a little V cut. Takes him in and then hits him and then comes off that thing, gets the foul. Subtle move, but smart by Tremont Mark.
Graham, good defense by Mitchell, and they got to kick it back out. Shot clock at 4. Ellis has it knocked away.
Well, you show the ball to Reed Sheppard, he's taking it.
And Reeves is fouled by Graham. That'll be number 2 on Jalen Graham.
Anytime you spin around Reed Sheppard and you show the ball, he's going to take it from you. He leads the Southeastern Conference in steals at about 2.5 a game. And off or on the ball, he's got a great sense for knocking the ball away. As his defense improves of just guarding the ball, he's got a chance to be a really good defender.
Reeves misses the first. Graham sits. And Lawson, they had to tend to a bloody nose for Lawson. That's why the timeout was called at the 14:40 mark. He is back into the game right now for Arkansas. Eric Musselman, Jay, as you well know, has been using like 12 guys a game, changing his starting lineup almost every game. This is their 12th different starting lineup of the season. Sometimes one guy plays 30, and then the next game he might play 2, or vice versa. He's just really searching for combinations right now.
And they haven't had a full slate of players for many games this year. And you know, Trevin Brazil doesn't look like he's going to be playing in this one. He did not even warm up.
A sore knee kept him out of the second half of the Ole Miss game on Wednesday. So it looks like no Brazil. And again, if you weren't with us off the top of the show, the statement put out by Arkansas just before game time, Devo Davis, a senior, 4-year guy in this program. The statement, all it said was, there's a walk on Edwards. All the statement said was he has stepped away from the program. There's no word like permanently or temporarily. All it says is he has stepped away from the program. But if you're Eric Musselman and the guys he does have, you got to move past it and focus on this game.
Yeah, you got to go with the guys you have.
Yeah.
And based upon how this has gone, I'd be really surprised if he came back, honestly. Yeah, he's basically AWOL. And people understand when you're struggling. People understand when you lose games. They don't understand when you quit. And that's what I'm perceiving is happening here.
Ellis had that one blocked, and back comes Kentucky in transition. And they are really, really good in transition. Ellis stays in front of Sheppard, doesn't let him get the three away. Into the corner for DJ Wagner, who misses the three, and Mitchell rips down the rebound.
There have been no second chance opportunities for Kentucky in this first half. That's one thing that Arkansas has done extraordinarily well, is they have hit the defensive glass with 5 guys, and that's not the turnovers are confounding, and that's going to lead to runouts.
That's 5 turnovers already committed by Arkansas. They keep going like that, they're going to have a real problem with Kentucky here today. Kentucky's the highest scoring team of the nation, just under 90 points per game, but just 4 points 8.5 minutes in. A block by Mitchell.
Really good job to force DJ Wagner to his left. It's not that he can't go left, but he is devastating going to his right. You force him to his weak hand.
Jeremiah Davenport, a grad transfer from Cincinnati, into the game for the Hogs. And there's Wagner reaching in to commit the foul. Kentucky just can't get the ball to go in the basket, and right now the Hogs have an early 5-point lead, Jake.
Well, Arkansas has been fighting, especially on the defensive glass. Kentucky not able to get anything to go, but Eric Musselman has to at least like the fight.
Welcome you to this Sonic Blockbuster here, an ESPN Sonic Blockbuster in Fayetteville between Kentucky and Arkansas. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Jess Sims is with us as well. Let's get you caught up. Devo Davis, 4-year senior, stepped away from the program for Arkansas. He's not in the building. Rob Dillingham for Kentucky is under the weather. He's not playing. Thiero has returned from a back injury. He started the game, and Kentucky can't get the round ball to go in the hoop. They're 1 for 13 so far, and the highest scoring team of the nation only has 4 points almost 9 minutes in.
Well, give credit to Arkansas. They've done a pretty good job defensively. They've protected the rim, blocking shots, and they've also done a great job of limiting Kentucky to one challenge shot. There have been a couple runouts because Arkansas has 5 turnovers in this first half. But Kentucky, this is a team that, Dan, offensively, they're Final Four good. Defensively, they're still on the bubble. This is a team that's got to get better defensively in order to continue with their championship hopes. Right now, they're giving up 85 points per game in Southeastern Conference play. Yeah. Their defense has to tighten up, and it's got to tighten up tonight against Arkansas.
Jess Sims was in the Kentucky huddle. Jess.
So over in the huddle, Coach Cal said, listen, we're behind. We've missed every single shot, and that's fine. But moving on, Arkansas is a shot-blocking team, so we got to shot fake, then go up, or look for the lob. And also, we need to look for Big Z because they're figuring out how to get him into the lineup right now.
Bonamir Ivisic is Big Z, who has yet to play in this game. Of course, had that unbelievable debut 1 week ago today when he played against Georgia and put up some huge numbers in about 15 minutes of time. We will see him. They've got 3 big guys now, Bradshaw, Onyenso, and Ivisic.
And the question is, how do you play those guys? They had played so long with mostly guards and having Trey Mitchell play the 5 for them. So you're incorporating in just several games 3 7-footers that can protect the rim, but it changed the way you play a little bit.
Mitchell, the offensive rebound. Mark steps in, kicks it out. Lawson from the corner for 3.
Dan, that is just Chandler Lawson's 5th made 3 on the season. A guy with a 7'7" wingspan, but that was the right shot based upon the pass.
Wagner, no, the long rebound to Thiero. Kentucky 1 for 15 from the field.
And just their 2nd offensive rebound in this game.
Wagner can't shake blocker. Shot clock at 4. Sheppard needs help. Onyenso has to put it up and can't hit the three.
Kentucky can't get frustrated here, Dan. They're on the road in one of the most difficult places to play in the country. As Zvonimir Ivicic comes into the ball game, 7 foot, can really shoot the three, and does a great job of protecting the rim. With his length, he can really bother shots around the rim. But Kentucky's only down 8, and they've not made a shot in this game.
Blocker, yes, and it grows to 10. Life is never easy on the road as Reeves gets one to go. Just the second field goal for the Cats. Here are the last 3 road games for Kentucky. A 2-point win at Florida, an overtime loss at A&M, and then they lost by 17 to South Carolina on Tuesday night. And this has been in every league all over the place this year. Life on the road is hard.
You're going to take punches. The question is, how do you respond? And this is a tough test and a difficult place to play for Kentucky after taking that loss.
Boy, Mark with an absolute force, but it goes. Reeves the other way. Good defense by Lawson.
Great vertical contest.
And Mark spinning and knocked down and draws the foul.
Tremont Mark, transferred in from Houston, the left-hander, has had some big games, and he's got the ability, especially if you let him get to that left hand, of making difficult shots. The little step-through move got the contact from Thiero, still able to complete the play. But his last 8 games, Tremont Mark is averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 48% from 3 over that period.
At a 35-point game against A&M, a 34-point game against Carolina, as he gets a breather. Among those into the game, Joseph Pinion. As again, Eric Musselman's using a lot of guys. Pinion, number 5 in white, has been very productive in his minutes in recent games.
Yeah, he can really shoot it. You can't let him shoot it from the catch spot. He has to be made to dribble it.
Ellis finds Lawson, who puts it on the deck. Good D by Mitchell. Blocker with the shot clock running down. Boy, almost banked it in.
But Arkansas, Dan, cannot live at the end of shot clocks.
Wagner, left hand, and it's good.
Well, you let him get downhill. DJ Wagner's been playing extraordinarily well, especially in conference games. He's shooting just under 50% from 3 in SEC, or excuse me, from the field in SEC games. That 18-point, 10-assist game he had against Georgia, he was terrific.
Yeah, he's getting better and better by the week. Ellis turns the corner, does not get the shot off. Instead hits Lawson. And now Mitchell, who's really working hard today.
Oh,
how about that?
Ivicic had him pinned in and allowed him to get by on the baseline side. You just have to cut that baseline side off.
Sheppard, nice little shot fake, gets through traffic, can't convert. His floaters aren't going down today.
Well, that shouldn't be a floater. That should be taken hard to the basket and make them foul you.
Pinion. Boy, the crowd desperately wanted that one, didn't they?
Boy, good block out by Trey Mitchell on Lawson.
Wagner fouled in transition.
Anytime there's a double team, especially along the baseline, you don't want to let the ball handler split you, but you certainly can't let them get by you on the baseline side for an easy layup. Great job by Mekhi Mitchell.
ESPN's exclusive. This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster. And welcome back to Bud Walton Arena here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where it is lively and loud here on this Saturday. You would know this team is reeling coming into the game. 1-5 in the league. As you have said, Jay, on a couple of occasions, they are playing with a lot of fight. A bucket there for Antonio Reeves. Kentucky's not shooting the ball well. And really, Arkansas could even have a bigger lead, but they are up 8 on the Cats right now.
And that's the kind of thing, Dan, that's plagued Arkansas all season long. They do not execute defensively on out-of-bounds underneath and give up a layup. That happened to them against South Carolina on several occasions. And that's the kind of thing that can get Antonio Reeves going. And I thought Kentucky needed to go to him. Oh, good screen.
Wow, Reeves with the screen. He won't get an assist, but he cleared the way for Wagner.
It's just a communication issue for the Arkansas defense. Just a little step-up screen.
A look at who's on the floor, brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care. Tremont Mark, the leading scorer. Ellis and Battle also started. Lawson and Mitchell did not start the game, but has come in and given Eric Musselman some really good minutes. And he's going to the free throw line. The foul will go on Aaron Bradshaw as we show you the 5 on the floor for the Cats, brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care. Bradshaw came back in. Zvonimir Ivicic was in the game for just a minute or so. And again, John Calipari preached over and over today at shoot around. If you want to, you got to play tough, guys. This is a tough league, and everybody saw what South Carolina did to you on Tuesday night. You've got to be able to step up to the physical challenge, especially on the road, and they're trying to do it without Rob Dillingham, who was under the weather.
And it's physicality, getting through screens, setting screens, blockouts, you name it, and then finishing plays through contact. And Kentucky's capable of doing it.
The crowd has decided that DJ Wagner is the guy they're going to get on every time that he touches the ball. Over the top, Bradshaw, bothered by Lawson.
And those are plays on that open side pick and roll where Bradshaw's got to finish that.
Lawson off to Mitchell. And he'll immediately give it to Battle. 18-point-a-game guy last year at Temple. Nice look into the corner for Mark. And Mitchell, the uncontested rebound for Kentucky. Reeves in transition. And a foul going against the Cats.
Boy, the vertical contest at the basket for Arkansas has been excellent. What a great pass ahead by Reed Sheppard. This is a quick strike offense, and that pass ahead. L. Ellis just gives the vertical contest, stays in front. You're not going to get a charge call there, but if you jump up, you own that space, and he just jumped up with his hands straight up and made it a really difficult finish for Antonio Reeves.
Arkansas looking much different at the defensive end than they have in their recent games, especially league games, 5 of 6 that they have lost. Their overall defensive numbers are not good this year, but they are playing hard at the defensive end today. Mark elevates, and it won't go. He wanted a foul call.
There's so many challenge twos for Arkansas. Boy, good job by Mark to stay in front of Sheppard.
Trey Mitchell steps in and draws the foul, heading to the line. They got Lawson for the foul. He's given him some good minutes here today.
And he's going to have to without Trevin Brazile available. And Brazil's been in and out of the lineup a little bit, and he's struggled over his last 5 games. But he's a guy capable of, he had 17 rebounds against Stanford, one of the best rebounders in the league.
Up next, we cap the night off with another SEC matchup here on ESPN. LSU at Alabama. The Crimson Tide having a really nice season. LSU has had some big wins as well. Boy, this league is something this year. And at 8:30 Eastern time over on the SEC network, it'll be Ole Miss at College Station taking on Buzz Williams' Aggies. Already today in the SEC, among the results, Auburn lost at Mississippi State. And Florida in a wild game. Georgia came back from 21 down to force overtime down in Gainesville, but the Gators won it in OT. Battle drives, and we got a foul call going against Kentucky.
They got Reed Sheppard on the push-off. When Kentucky goes, once you get downhill, Kentucky goes for the block shot. That opens up the offensive glass for Mitchell, and Reed Sheppard knew it, just gave him a shove.
And it's bonus now for Arkansas. Makai Mitchell at the line. This league is just so interesting this year. Kentucky's obviously very good. Tennessee obviously is great. Auburn's having a really good year. The loss today notwithstanding. Alabama is having a really good year. And then you look at teams like South Carolina, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. On and on it goes. There are a lot of really good teams in this league.
Yeah, there's no layup in this league, but You have to think that Tennessee right now is the best team in the league. They're certainly the most balanced offensively and defensively, and Dalton Knecht provides them with a weapon that very few teams have, a guy that can go out and get you 40 in a game.
Tennessee playing at Vandy right now on the SEC network, and 1 week from tonight it'll be Tennessee and Kentucky in the first of their 2 regular season matchups. You can see that on ESPN right after the Carolina Duke game that you and I will be at 1 week from today.
Boy, what a spectacular pass from Trey Mitchell. Had 2 defenders down on the left block, and just not a good defensive rotation on the weak side to cut that off for Arkansas, and an easy dunk for Onyenso.
And Arkansas's gone cold at the offensive end. Good job by Mark getting in there looking for the rebound, and he is fouled.
Well, it's a good job by Mark, but Kentucky's got to turn and put a body on somebody. You just can't let a guy run in from the perimeter. Got to turn and block out. Just a spectacular pass. Sees the double team when it comes over, and Onyenso, nobody rotates down. Easy bucket.
Coming up, it's the Jeep halftime report. A crazy finish at Cameron. Duke with a 1-point win over Clemson, and road woes continue for top 10 teams. That's been happening all season. It'll be Reese and the guys. And speaking of the guys, Seth and Jay Will are with Jess.
Yes. Seth, talk to us. What is Coach Cal talking to the Wildcats about right now in the timeout?
Continue to defend, be physical, rebound the basketball, and offensively, when you take it to the basket, be physical, play the contact, finish it. If that defense helps, make one more. We'll get a good shot. Just stay the course. It's a long game.
Are you coaching the game right now?
Yes,
Because it feels like that's your passion.
He was really into it just now.
Yeah.
But he sounds like Coach Muzz in the huddle that I listened to. He said that on defense, it's war every time we're down there. What brings him so much success so far?
Well, I think Arkansas is doing one heck of a job of defending the rim without fouling, right? And I think for them offensively, just have to find a way to get points in transition to make the ball going easier.
Yeah, for a 20-15 game, 16 minutes in, it's been really interesting. There's a lot going on in this game. Both teams are playing hard. Kentucky, bit by bit, is getting back into it as Mark gets the bounce on the first free throw. Kentucky started 3 for 21, but they are 3 of their last 5, so they're only down by 6.
And the last 4 minutes of this first half is going to be crucial for Arkansas. You know, Kentucky still within striking distance, as poorly as the Wildcats have shot the ball in this first half.
Reeves for 3, and a big shot for the Wildcats to get him back within 3.
Well, you allow him to shoot it from the catch spot, forget it. Just got a little pin-in screen on the left elbow, and if he gets a chance to get his feet set, he's going to drill that thing.
And as you mentioned, 43% from beyond the arc on the season. Mitchell left hand, no. Onyenso the tip, out of bounds. Kentucky ball.
Now watch Antonio Reeves coming off this little elbow pin down. Gets a screen from Trey Mitchell, and Tremont Mark goes right into it, slows him up. Anytime Antonio Reeves catches the ball and is able to shoot it from the catch spot, he's making it.
Gets into the paint, and he makes that one as well.
It's a superior shot fake with Mark trying to recover as he cut into the lane. And that's something that Arkansas has got to do a better job of, is use shot fakes. Arkansas doesn't have a breakdown guard that's going to take you off the dribble. That means they have to do it off of movement. And right now they're not getting a lot of movement off the ball.
Mark, another tough one, but this turnaround goes.
He goes to that left hand and then spins back off the pressure. That was a tough shot.
And over and back, Arkansas ball.
Just simple passing and catching. Kentucky gets within a bucket and turns it over.
Eric Musselman would love to get some offense out of Caleb Battle, who started the game. He is 0 for 2, has not scored a point. He's their second leading scorer at 11.5. But like a lot of guys on this team, has seen the minutes and the production really go up and down this year. Ellis through a lot of blue jerseys. That ball got deflected. That ball, that's the right call. Yeah, it should be Arkansas ball. Eric Musselman was headed in there to offer an opinion in case one was solicited.
Arkansas runs a lot of different plays out of this box set alignment. They screen for L. Ellis as he's coming in.
Davenport from the corner. And the rebound down to Reeves. Sheppard scoreless in this game so far. 0 for 5 from the field. Wagner into Mitchell. The fifth-year senior puts it up. Tipped up and in.
I thought Makai Mitchell might have tipped that in with his left hand. Onyenso was behind him. It looked like Mitchell got a finger on that ball. Onyenso will get credit for it.
Kentucky has not led in this game. They're within 1 right now. And the ball belongs to them. They've got a chance to take their first lead of the game on this trip.
Take a look at Mitchell here. Look, I thought he tipped it in, and he did.
Yeah, you're right. You can see it from the look on his face, too, how disappointed he was.
Kentucky runs this a lot. They go out, look like they're going to set a ball screen, just ghost out of it, go set a wide pin down.
Mitchell.
And that's going to be flagrant.
Yep, they're going to look at it. Immediately, Joe Lindsay, one of the officials, signaling, go to your benches. They are going to look at this play to see if Mitchell should get called for a flagrant 1.
It seems like anything above the shoulders, I don't want to say it's automatic. They're going to look at it and make sure. But it sounds like right now it's a common foul that they could upgrade.
The previous play is under review.
Chuck Jones telling us the previous play is under review, meaning they're going to have a look at it to decide if this should be more than a common foul. Wow, it's certainly seems to be justified if they upgrade it, don't you think?
Yeah, it hit him right. It looked like it was more below the neck and the chest. Well, maybe it was in the neck. Yeah, that looked like it caught him just under the chin. If a lot of times what the officials will look at is, was the contact or the arms more out than they are up? And there they were clearly more out than up.
Yeah. I don't think there was any malice on that play, just trying to get a little space and establish position for the shot, but it certainly looks like this could be upgraded.
And I'm not sure that's where they can say that was a basketball play. If it's a common foul, it's just Arkansas ball.
Right.
But if it's a flagrant, there's free throws in the ball.
Yeah. Davenport looks to be okay. He's getting a lot of minutes with Brazil not playing. And
After the review from the previous play, it's going to be upgraded to a flagrant 1, elbow above the shoulders. 2 shots, and will be Arkansas's ball baseline.
All right, thank you, Chuck. Upgraded to a flagrant 1. 2 free throws in the ball for the Hogs. Chuck did a great job over there, but he came over to talk to us about going to the microphone before the game. We thought he was going to inject a little bit more of his personality into the call over there. But he's feeling his way through it.
Yeah, we've been teasing some of the officials that, you know, when you confirm a call, go with it. Say, the previous call has been confirmed. Again, we're right again.
Tell a joke to loosen the crowd up, something. But he's a great guy, and this is great, I think, for the people at home and the people here in the arenas as well, to hear from the officials what's going on. So Davenport at the line for 2. No matter what happens in the last minute 10, unless things go really wrong for Kentucky, I think John Calipari heads into the locker room and probably says, guys, you're okay. That was ugly, but you're okay. There's 20 more minutes to go.
He'll say, as poorly as we shot the ball on the offensive end, and right now, if this stays the same, it's a 1-possession game. Like, we're not going to shoot that way in the second half. Yeah, you have to feel very fortunate when you perform that way on the offensive end, that you're still in it at a one possession level.
Battle with a shot fake into a lot of traffic, trying to save it in bounds, and he does.
Well, you can't try to avoid block shots in this league. You have to go strong to the 10.
Ellis, and he got his block by Onyenso. And it belongs to Kentucky with 40 seconds left in the half.
Well, this is a big sequence for Kentucky.
We will step aside for 30 here for the last minute of the first half. Kentucky ball down 2. So it has been a feisty first half, not a high-scoring first half by any stretch of the imagination. But both teams are playing hard. Kentucky down by 2 with the ball.
They're definitely not going to have to replace the nets at halftime. Maybe repaint the rims.
Yes. Shot clock inside 10. The physical battle between Mitchell and Davenport continues. Wagner using the screen. Out to Reeves. And Mark's got it. Ahead to Battle. And a foul on Sheppard, who is pleading his innocence on the baseline.
But Battle put the ball in his right hand like he was going to hammer that down. I don't know whether he lost control of it a little bit, but you got to get that to the backboard as quickly as you can so you don't let Sheppard recover. So he took it out sideways, and you got to go straight to the rim there. And he almost allowed Sheppard to block that. Maybe he did get all ball.
You can understand Sheppard's reaction, right? Maybe a break there on that call. A couple of free throws coming for Battle. 82% free throw shooter on the season. He had 21 in the win over Duke a couple of months ago off the bench. Has had 5 games of 20 or more this year, but all of them, Jay, in non-conference play. As we mentioned before, a number of guys have seen their minutes fluctuate up and down depending on how productive they are, and Battle's among them.
Well, over his last 6 games, he's only 3 of 15 from 3. That game against Duke, he had 21. He also had 5 rebounds and 5 assists.
Final shot of the half to Kentucky, and a foul called on Layden Blocker, and that's going to send DJ Wagner to the line for 1-and-1.
Layden Blocker is going to be a really good defender. I don't know about that. That's lost control of it, then walked with it. Tough call.
Wagner knocks down the first. There is time here for Arkansas with 2.2 seconds left. And Adu Thiero back into the game for Kentucky. Onyenso will sit.
Arkansas has an opportunity here, but one thing you don't want to do is go for a home run and throw the ball deep, and then Kentucky's inbounding under its own basket if nobody touches it.
Davenport to inbound. Gets it to Ellis. And wide right on the half-court attempt to bring the first half to a close. A very low-scoring first half. Second game in a row that the highest-scoring team in the nation has had trouble scoring in the first half. Here's Jess Sims with Eric Musselman.
Coach, highest scoring team in the country, and you've held them to just 24 points in the first half. How happy are you with your defense?
Well, defensively, we've been phenomenal. Transition defense, great. They got us twice after we made a basket on their sideline break. They got great speed. I think we're doing a really good job going vertical at the rim as well.
What do you need to see from your team in the second half?
Score the ball.
That part.
We need better offense, Jess. Right now, we're really struggling to get a good look. Give Kentucky's defense a lot of credit. Right now, it's a defensive game. They want it to probably be a little bit more offensive. We're searching for our offense.
Thanks so much, Coach.
We got a game. We got a battle here in Arkansas with the Hogs leading the Cats by 2 at the half. Coming up, the Jeep halftime report. Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, Jay Will. Welcome back to ESPN's Saturday Primetime. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. There was not a lot of offense in the first half, but Tremont Mark did what he could. 7.6 rebounds for the Hogs, taking and making some tough shots. Just 3 for 11 overall. Kentucky couldn't buy one for the longest time, but they did do better. As you can see, the last 10 minutes went 8 for their last 15. Both teams are an identical 9 for 31, 29% from the field in this ESPN Sonic Blockbuster. Welcome back to Fayetteville. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. What'd you make of that?
Don't look at the stats. Avert your eyes. But the point about the last 10 minutes for Kentucky, 8 of 15, after a horrible start. I think John Calipari in the locker room at halftime had to feel pretty good that, hey, stay the course. You know, we weathered that storm. We're going to do better in the second half. But Arkansas has to get much more movement on its end of the court on offense. They're standing around too much and just having to go one-on-one. Over a 40-minute game, that's not going to work.
Jess Sims had a chance to speak with John Calipari. Jess.
I did, guys, and he said, look, a really pretty game. He said early in his career he'd be happy with shooting in the 30s, but today it's torture. They missed 5 layups. He also said there's also just 2 teams fighting. Somebody's got to get hot, and they hope it's them.
Jess, thank you. Definitely gritty more than pretty for both teams in the first half. Kentucky's got to feel really good about being only down 2, given the way the first 10 minutes went, as we are ready for the start of the second half of our Sonic Blockbuster. Kentucky coming in 4-2 in the league, ranked 6th in the nation. And Arkansas 1-5 in league play, in desperate need of a victory that they hope will turn their season around. And it starts with Thiero getting a piece of that jump hook from Jalen Graham.
Really did a good job physically. Got screened up top to get Jalen Graham into the low post. One-on-one in the post, and Thiero just took that ball out of the air. That was a great defensive play. And they missed him with his length and activity and energy.
You know, it's funny. Kentucky comes into the game 5th in the nation in offensive efficiency per KenPom, 96th in defensive efficiency. I think if I told you this game was 46-44 at the half, you'd have an easier time believing that than 26-24.
Kentucky has no issues offensively. I mean, they didn't have a good first half. You give Arkansas credit for it, but that's a Final Four championship level offense. But the defense, you're not going to win a championship with defensive metrics in the 90s nationally.
Just doesn't happen.
No, it's a defense on the bubble. Its offense is championship good. Well, the good news is they've still got time to improve it.
Reeves no, and the rebound comes down quickly there to Graham. The foul on Graham, by the way, was his 3rd, but he's still in there at the moment. El Ellis pulls up and hits.
El Ellis just putting the brakes on, and nobody really picked him up. You're not worried he's going to blow by you. You've got to take that shot away. Another good pass, just not a good catch by Onyenso. He's got to be stronger. But Mitchell's such a good passer.
Onyenso didn't start the game. Bradshaw did, but Onyenso starts the second half as Battle misses an open 3.
Kentucky was lucky there. That was not good transition defense. Didn't get to any shooters.
Reeves, full head of steam, takes a bump and hits, and is going to the line for a chance at 3.
Well, that's really good movement by Kentucky. You get a cutter through, and it's almost in a dribble drive motion sense. You just drive off the backside of that cutter. He's got a screen, went around. And any time that you can get downhill into the lane, draw help. Antonio Reeves, he's got a really good floater, and he's a good finisher when he gets into the lane.
He is one of 25 players nationally on the Wooden Award mid-season list, and deservedly so. He is having a tremendous season for the Wildcats. Reed Sheppard, by the way, also on that list.
Pretty good job guarding that little stagger on the baseline.
Boy, Mark into traffic and elevated, and then saw there was nothing there. But boy, you get caught in the air looking to pass to somebody, and by then it's usually too late.
And with Arkansas laboring to score, you wonder if it's going to get to its defense. Horn set up top.
Runner won't go. Bradshaw a little bit over the back. They play on, and it's Arkansas ball.
Got the switch.
Lawson now posting up on the smaller Wagner. The kick to Mark for 3. You like the look, but it wouldn't go down.
And Mark has a low release, and it was bothered. That's a foul. Yeah, that's a foul, and not a very intelligent one. With DJ Wagner angled out, he was basically driving toward the corner. I mean, you don't want to put him on his back on that.
First on Ellis. Lots of transfers on this Arkansas team. They lost so much talent from a year ago. Anthony Black, Nick Smith, Ricky Council IV, Jordan Walsh. So basically a brand new team for the most part for Eric Musselman. And they've had some really good moments this year, like the win over Duke. And there's a late whistle and a foul call that has Eric Musselman in disbelief.
We've seen more of that, though, this year, Dan. You know, the late whistle, the officials wanted, but the problem was he was losing the ball as he was going up.
Before the contact.
Before the contact. But the officials, it seems like, to me, have been taking an extra beat to let the play complete. Because what difference does it make if you blow it right on time? Yeah. As long as you're watching it, if you blow it a little bit late, as long as you get the call right.
It's a little more what you see in the NBA.
A little bit. They're just giving themselves a little more time. There's nothing in the rule book says a whistle has to blow exactly on contact.
Lawson his third. He sits. Mekhi Mitchell into the game. I thought Mekhi Mitchell gave Arkansas some pretty important minutes in the first half, as now Reed Sheppard comes in for Kentucky.
And Mekhi Mitchell does a good job of protecting the rim, good rebounder. And primarily he's a screen and roll guy. So he's going to screen and then roll hard to the basket. Not a pick and pop guy.
So Kentucky's come back to tie it. They still have not led at any point in this game. Battle hoists a three and hits. And he's a guy who can fill it up in a hurry when he gets hot.
That's the kind of ball movement that Arkansas needs to get open shots. And a great pass by Mekhi Mitchell off that short roll.
And then Sheppard answers at the other end. Wagner the assist, and we're tied again.
Boy, the quick strike of Kentucky. Make or miss when they get the ball back. They can get the ball down court in a hurry.
Battle misses the runner. Here comes Mitchell for the Cats. And Mekhi Mitchell bothers him enough at the rim to send him in the other direction. Ellis. Graham will flush it. And a turnover and a foul on Trey Mitchell.
Boy, what an answer by Arkansas. Mitchell making a play at the rim and leads to a lob dunk on the other end. We've seen precious little of this for Arkansas, where they're beating Kentucky down the floor in transition. But no pressure on the ball. Jalen Graham running to the rim. Bradshaw trailing him. This is the kind of basketball Arkansas needs to play, where they're scoring easy baskets that are generated from the defensive end.
Ellis to Mekhi Mitchell, spins and draws the foul. Good patience in the paint by Mitchell.
Well, that's twice since Mitchell's come in the ball game. We talked about him being a screen hard roller. When he sets the ball screen, he's doing a really good job of rolling hard to the basket. And that means somebody's going to have to come over and pick it up. Aaron Bradshaw just staying on the ball too long. Antonio Reeves does not come over for the tag to put his body in the way. And if you're not going to put your body in the way, Mitchell's going to keep going.
Third on Bradshaw. He's going to come out. Onyenso is at the scorer's table. John Calipari rotating the 3 7-footers, although Zvonimir Ivisic has only played 3 minutes. All of those in the first half. Basically, generally, it's been Bradshaw and Onyenso subbing in and out.
You know, Dan, anytime you see a pick and roll, sometimes you can think that's guarded just by the 2 defenders that are involved in it. Pick and roll is guarded by all 5 defenders.
Yeah.
And there Kentucky was late with their tag guy, in that case Antonio Reeves, getting into the right spot and being physical.
Wagner the kick. Deflected by Mark. It is still Kentucky ball, but a good job by Mark to knock that pass away.
Arkansas in drop coverage. Mekhi Mitchell guarding the screener on that side pick and roll, but he's basically down in the middle.
Look at the energy on Caleb Battle guarding the inbound. Look at him go. Wagner tried to dump it down to Onyenso. Arkansas's got it.
Should have looked back to Antonio Reeves. He was setting a little back screen and popped back out.
Battle with a burst of speed, and the lead is 6.
Kentucky just giving up the paint too easily.
6-0 run to break the tie. Wagner the crossover, rejected by Mitchell.
How about the timing by Makai Mitchell in drop coverage?
Really good minutes for the 5th-year senior Makai Mitchell today. They tried to take advantage of the mismatch with Reeves on him. It's knocked out of bounds to take us to a timeout early here in the second half, Jay, as Arkansas, they're showing how feisty they can be and how much fight is in them in a game that they desperately need to win.
Big time block by Makai Mitchell. His minutes have been impactful. That is impressive.
Yeah. And again, those are today's, a tribute to the Hall of Fame coach Nolan Richardson, who led the Hogs to a national championship back in '93-94. This is the 5th year for Eric Musselman as the head coach here in Fayetteville, and Arkansas has won about as many games at home as any team in the country. It is loud here. This is a tough place to come in and play, but it's not just the home court and the crowd. This guy's an awfully good coach as well. Tell us what you like.
Eric Musselman and his staff do as good a job as anyone I've seen in scouting and conveying that to the team so that they can execute. In practices before games, they have all of these scouts, individual, team, what the opponent is doing, and they have scouting stations where they go through each individual and they drill the tendencies of that individual player. Then they drill the tendencies of a team. They did Kentucky Shell, where they had 4 different Kentucky actions, not necessarily run on the same play, but that they're guarding together. Then they watch film, they do it again. It's really impressive. And I asked Eric Musselman, where'd you get that from? And when he got fired as head coach of the Golden State Warriors in the NBA, he went and spent time with the Oakland Raiders, then went and spent time with John Gruden, and really incorporated a lot of what he learned in scouting. And this Arkansas program does a magnificent job of scouting.
A block by Onyenso. Eric Musselman has coached at about every level of basketball that a guy can coach at. Actually, he and John Calipari both have also coached internationally. Calipari replaced Musselman as the head coach of the Dominican national team. Musselman then went and coached Venezuela for a couple of years, and they both competed in the FIBA Americas tournament. They've known each other from all over the place for many, many years. Thiero can't finish, gets it back, misses again, gets it back, misses again, and it belongs to the Hogs.
And Makai Mitchell forced that first miss.
Boy, that ball's a hot potato sometimes in this game, isn't it?
And Dan, it's hard to believe, but Kentucky's shooting a lower percentage in the second half than they did in the first. And not just because of that. Good pass.
Graham passed up the 3. The spin. Oh! What a contest there by Onyenso as Graham was trying to cram it.
And they call Graham spin cycle because of his propensity to spin on those moves.
And if you're looking for somebody to make an open shot, that's the best candidate in the building, perhaps, in Antonio Reeves.
Oh, they have to keep looking to him. But what a block by Onyenso.
As Graham went in there looking to do damage. Ellis pulls up for 3. And Reeves the rebound. Justin Edwards limited minutes here today.
Well, Edwards is a lefty, and you have to force him to his right. He wants to get to that left hand.
And again, no Rob Dillingham. If you weren't with us early, he is out with an illness as Sheppard drives and lays it in to get Kentucky back within 1.
I don't think you can let Sheppard reject that ball screen. You have to force him into it. He rejects it. He's downhill to the basket. That puts your defense in rotation. They couldn't get there.
Dillingham looking on from the bench, but unavailable today for the Wildcats. Trevin Brazil unavailable, and again Devo Davis As Sheppard jams it, and Kentucky has its first lead of the game, and that's enough for Eric Musselman to call a timeout.
You cannot throw a lame duck guard to guard and expect it to get there, especially with Reed Sheppard. Leads the Southeastern Conference in steals. This thing was quacking on the way to the recipient. Reed Sheppard took it the other way, and that's how you're going to increase your shooting percentage, by getting easy ones like this, by doing hard things well. Agree with you. He has been first team All-America to this point in the season, and what a tremendous job Carolina's done on the defensive end all year. They've won 10 in a row.
Mark posting on Reeves. And somehow got it off the glass and in as Arkansas goes back on top.
What a tough bucket, and guarding one-on-one in the post, one of the toughest things to do in basketball. He went right after Antonio Reeves, went right into his chest, and Arkansas needed that bucket badly.
Onyenso to Edwards. Edwards the pull up from the elbow. 3 times on the rim and down to Graham.
Caleb Battle doing a good job. He went underneath the first screen on Edwards, then tried to go over. That opened it up for that short jumper. And Mark trying to post Antonio Reeves again.
Boy, Graham, a good spin move, then ran out of real estate, finds Mitchell. Couldn't hit it. Now Kentucky looking to take the lead again.
Well, you got to hit these point blank shots. It's just so deflating and puts so much pressure on your defense to get stops.
Sheppard the kick. Trey Mitchell for 3. And down with the rebound, Caleb Battle.
Well, you have to give credit to the Arkansas guards. They have not left the big guys alone to rebound. It's been all 5 guys in white going to the defensive glass.
Reeves fronting Mark in the post on this trip.
Well, that ball's got to be reversed faster.
Yeah, it's sticking. They're down to 5 on the clock. Graham walked. Yes, he did.
Looked like he wanted the pocket pass to Battle.
11:15 to go in the second half. Hogs by 1.
There you go. Hey, we're up. We're up. 11 minutes to go. Yep. There's 11 minutes to go and we're up 1. We're good.
Eric Musselman maybe trying to build the confidence of his group a little bit, saying, hey, we're good. 11 minutes to go and we're up 1. A very slow start in league play, 1-5. But they've done this before. Slow starts, better finishes under Eric Musselman. And the last 3 years, they've gone Elite 8, and then last year, Sweet 16. There is talent here. There's time to turn it around. But boy, a W today would be a good first step in that direction.
But the only difference I would say this year, Dan, is Arkansas is not carrying the same amount of non-conference success into the second half of the year. And that puts a lot of pressure on them to get wins.
Onyenso left unguarded on the baseline to put Kentucky on top.
Well, he had a broken play and just a miscommunication to leave Onyenso with that wide open path to the basket.
Mitchell. Graham. Left hand and in to put the Hogs back on top.
Goes right after that spin again and gets it to go. Jalen Graham's had some good moments in this game.
4 for 6, 8 points. Sheppard, and he gets all the way to the glass.
That's just too easy. Came off a little ball screen, hesitated, and the Red Sea opened up for him to get all the way to the rim.
Running offense through Graham. He's going to try to do it himself. And a foul underneath. And it looks like it's going against Kentucky.
Take a look at Reed Sheppard here on that last play. Just gets a little ball screen, and Tremont Mark goes over the top of it. He's trailing him, and Makai Mitchell probably needed to stay on the ball there.
A lot of dribbling by Ellis. Ball hasn't moved since they inbounded it. And now Makai Mitchell travels. They just never had anything going there.
Yeah, just trying to do too much. They had one cut, and that was it. You're just not making the defense move. And when you don't make the defense move, and when you're not moving, boy, a stationary player is really easy to guard.
And now Mitchell and Arkansas have it.
Boy, that was a heck of a rebound by Mitchell, because Trey Mitchell was there to grab the offensive board.
Ellis driving. Oh, and he and Makai Mitchell too close together, and the pass is fumbled away. Ball moving much more for Kentucky right now with the offensive end than it is for Arkansas.
Arkansas playing a little bit more of a containment defense, not enough, or not quite as much pressure.
And Mitchell is fouled. It's Graham, and it's number 4 on Jalen Graham, who's been a very important guy for the Razorbacks today.
That was just a simple 2 hands on the ball handler call. When you put your hands out, watch on this drive, both hands go on him. That's an automatic call, even though the contact was not severe. It's automatic when you have 2 hands on the ball handler.
So Graham sits, Ellis sits, Jeremiah Davenport returns. Lawson is back in as well. Bigger lineup right now for Arkansas. John Calipari sticking with the 5 he's had in there for a while. Floater by Reeves. Rebound Lawson.
When Onyenso was in the short corner, that allowed Makai Mitchell to just play the middle of the lane, almost as a goalie.
And Mark dribbled it behind his back, lost it, and Reeves will flush it.
Boy, those are killers. Just lost his footing trying to use the ball screen, and Reeves was laying it in on the other end in no time.
Into the paint.
Pass.
No look feed. A beautiful bucket for Lawson. Crowd getting to its feet here at Bud Walton. Wagner, and good hustle by Battle to deflect that out of bounds.
Battle did a really good job of locking and trailing on Reeves on his outside hip, forced him off the 3-point line, then jumped in front, almost like a defensive back. Antonio Reeves gets the steal, trying to reject the screen, lost his footing. He reached in with the left hand. There have been a couple of runouts in this second half. First read Sheppard, and then just a beautiful pass by Tremont Mark to Chandler Lawson. Arkansas still right there.
That was about 8 weeks ago, but Arkansas has already had a very, very big moment here in their home arena this year. They beat Duke on November the 29th without Tremont Mark. Trevin Brazil 19 and 11. Caleb Battle came off the bench to score a team high 21 in a building that Jay and I said on the air that night, and I think still feel was as loud as any game we have ever done in our lives. They have a passionate, passionate fan base. This place is sold out again today. They are trying to beat Duke and Kentucky in the same year. The last time an unranked team beat Duke and Kentucky in the same year was North Carolina back in 1964-65. The Razorbacks have a long way to go to really try to salvage the season and do some damage, get themselves into any kind of postseason conversation. But a win today would be a very positive first step.
Yeah, they've got 8 minutes against this Kentucky team to pull it off. Little elevator screen for Antonio Reeves, and Caleb Battle doing a nice job of staying with him.
Same 5 for John Calipari. They've been out there a while. Sheppard with 1 on the shot clock had to put it up. Now Arkansas can take the lead.
I think Tremont Mark, who's been a big part of Arkansas having an opportunity here, has to start taking over.
Tough shot there.
He's moving to his right on that shot instead of going straight up and down.
He's 4 for 14 today. Wide open Trey Mitchell, and he buries a 3.
Reed Sheppard just drawing multiple defenders, and Trey Mitchell had all the time in the world to pull the trigger on that 3.
7 points, 9 rebounds now for Mitchell in this game. Battle tries to answer. Mitchell his 10th rebound.
And a really good pass by Makai Mitchell on that little short roll. That's not an easy pass to make. Can't ask for a better three-point opportunity from that corner than that. So this feels like a huge possession for Arkansas to get a stop.
Mitchell puts it on the deck, backing down Lawson. Lawson got him. That 7'7" wingspan came in handy on that trip, didn't it?
Well, his arms go forever, and timed that out pretty well. It looked like Mitchell had got him off the floor. No call there, but just took it right out of his hands. Boy, what a big defensive stand for Arkansas.
What do you want to see the Hogs do on this trip offensively?
You need to move the ball. I mean, you can't just drive 1-on-5.
Battle the assist to Lawson, and it's a 1-point game.
That sequence was gigantic for Arkansas. Get a stop and then knock down a three.
10 points now for Battle, 8 of them here in the second half. He can be a big-time scorer, and Arkansas needs somebody to get hot down the stretch here if they're going to try to win. Lawson the block at one end, the assist at the other. And Kentucky's lead is down to 1, 6:14 to go. Right after this one, right on this very same channel you're watching right now. We're making it easy for folks.
Alabama is a prolific three-point shooting team, analytics driven. Indiana State right up with them, also BYU.
What a play by Makai Mitchell. And Arkansas can reclaim the lead.
Usually that kind of play leads to an easy alley-oop dunk. Boy, Mitchell's had some impactful plays.
First turnover, Jay, in 10 minutes for the Wildcats. Mark with a crossover and a pull-up, and it's an air ball. Reeves trying to beat him down the floor. And blocked by Mitchell, but Trey Mitchell has it for Kentucky. Now Wagner with a floater. They battle for the loose ball. Kentucky's got it. Reeves for three.
What a great pass by Reed Sheppard. And that was one of the rare occasions in this game that Arkansas didn't have all 5 guys on the defensive glass. The big guys were by themselves.
Boy, Mark into some traffic. He got fouled.
That's just the 4th foul on Kentucky. But the guards just standing watching on that one. And now all of a sudden you're in rotation. A great pass from Reed Sheppard. When he got that pass out, Tremont Mark recovering to him. And Antonio Reeves wide open.
El Ellis has returned now for the Razorbacks. Lawson forces it up, unless it was a pass, and then a foul call will send Makai Mitchell to the line.
Makai Mitchell, a 70% free throw shooter.
Boy, John Calipari knows his team will always get a fight on the road. When Kentucky goes on the road, especially in conference, you know you're going to get as much fight as the other team has. Two of the top teams in the SEC square off in our ESPN Sunday afternoon women's basketball matchup. Tennessee at Ole Miss at the Pavilion. Coverage begins at 3. The Lady Vols 5-1 in league play this year. South Carolina, after that thrilling win over LSU a couple of nights ago, they are 6-0. Still got a couple of games coming between Tennessee and Carolina.
A step up screen that puts DJ Wagner downhill.
Trey Mitchell will quiet the crowd with a corner 3.
And another really good pass by Reed Sheppard. Reversing the ball, and he immediately gets it out of his hands. That puts the defense in a difficult recovery position.
Mark gets to the rim, and it goes.
He got hit going up. And it looks like he's cramped up. He hasn't gotten up yet. It's 5-on-4.
And now they blow the whistle. And usually they don't do this. Like after Kentucky's possession ends, that's when they would blow the whistle. Sometimes in the interest of player safety, they will blow the whistle while the play is still live. John Calipari doesn't seem too bothered by it right now. Mark's still down.
It looked to me like a cramp, but who knows?
Yep.
but there was a lot of contact going up for that shot. Got to throw that ball to the outside hand, but he just gets his shoulders below the defender. And there was contact going up with Bradshaw, and he wasn't in legal guarding position, but you see him cramping up.
And making his way to the Arkansas bench right now. They will go to immediate timeout right now with 4:14 to go. 53-50. And you talked about how Reed Sheppard's passing has been one of the most important things for Kentucky here in the second half.
Well, as the ball is reversed here, Reed Sheppard immediately gets it to Trey Mitchell. And just a great pass, the second in a row that he's gotten a teammate.
Time now for tonight's Game Track, brought to you by E-Trade. And look at how Kentucky has heated up from beyond the arc in the second half. 5 for 8 after 2 for 9. Is that just shooting better, or is that better ball movement, better passes, better looks?
Well, a little bit of both. I mean, you know, you can have great ball movement and still miss the shot. But Kentucky 5 of 8, as you mentioned, in the second half. You give credit to Reed Sheppard for those great passes he threw. And really, Antonio Reeves has been the offense. He's got 21. Way short.
And here comes Arkansas down by 3, 4 minutes in regulation. Ellis tried to turn the corner. Reeves recovers.
Makai Mitchell just ghosted out of that ball screen. I think you might want to set that.
Up top, Mitchell 10 to shoot. And now Ellis fouled by Reeves. 6th team foul on Kentucky. Let's get an update on Tremont Mark with Jess Sims.
So Mark is entering the game right now. They spent a lot of time right now in that last huddle stretching, using the Thiero massage for both legs, and he ate a packet of pickles with juice.
Wow.
With juice.
It works.
A packet of pickles with juice. A lot of alliteration.
Whatever gets the cramping to subside. They've got Mark back in the game.
I have to say, I haven't heard of the pickles remedy for cramping.
That's the first time we've had that kind of a report during a game. Mark takes a bump. And again, just the difficulty of the shots he is putting up is noticeable. And he's their leading scorer. He's their guy. But taking a lot of bumps and putting up some tough shots.
We'll give Kentucky's defense some credit. They are forcing Arkansas to make shots over them, staying in front, making them make a difficult shot.
Wagner, the kick. Trey Mitchell wide open. Missed the 3, and Makai Mitchell wraps up another rebound.
And one thing you cannot do is overhelp.
That's 11 rebounds now for Makai Mitchell. Ellis, left hand, and it's a 1-point game.
What a great job snaking that ball screen. And then using the left hand to make that difficult layup in traffic.
Reeves gets it back, puts it up, and knocks it down.
Boy, what a play by Reeves. Got Bradshaw the ball and then got it back and got a screen from Bradshaw to pick off his defender.
And the officials are going to look to see whether that was a 2 or a 3. I believe the initial call on the floor from Patrick Evans was that it was a 2, but immediately they blew the whistle at this point of the game. You look at that under 4, you look at that right away. And as Mark cramping again, it looks like he's favoring it a little bit as he makes his way to the bench. Let's get another look at the shot here.
Just gives it up and got that little screen.
The replay.
Mark needs to get over
We're
it.
going to review the last 3-pointer by Kentucky. Call on the floor is a 2.
As Chuck Jones just said, call on the floor is a 2. They're looking at it. Looks like there. Do you see a little space? Looks like a little space there between the toe and the line, doesn't it? What do you think, Jay? That's close.
It's close.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure you can overturn it on that.
Called a 2.
But the officials are not necessarily seeing the same replay that we are. There's a system called DV Sport where they can call up the replay that they want. And sometimes we see a better angle than they see.
The view of the previous play was upgraded from a 2 to a 3-pointer by Kentucky.
Upgraded from a 2 to a 3. Thank you to Chuck Jones, Joe Lindsay, Patrick Evans, both with the in-stadium sound system and also coming over talking to us. There's been a lot going on in this game, and they've done a great job today. So it is a 3 for Antonio Reeves, and it is a 4-point lead for Kentucky right now. Reeves had a quiet first half. You know how many points he's got now, James? He's got 24 points in this game. Yeah. Remember, he had 37 in this building last year in a Kentucky win.
Well, you have to think that Dalton Connect of Tennessee and Antonio Reeves are the leaders in the clubhouse for SEC Player of the Year. There's still a long way to go.
Be fun if they match up, and they will a lot, you would think, if they match up against one another 1 week from tonight. It's the 3rd game of the Sonic Blockbuster triple header. Houston, Kansas at 4, Duke, Carolina at 6:30, and then Kentucky, Tennessee at 8:30. A great triple header next Saturday on ESPN. Arkansas needs to execute, needs to get a good look. And they turn it over. There was nowhere to go on that pass attempt by Ellis, and Wagner lays it in at the other end.
That is 3 turnovers in the second half that went for touchdowns. Live ball turnovers that Kentucky is laying in on the other end. And a game this close, that can be the difference.
The 3 guards for Arkansas are all more scorer than ball handler, whether it's Ellis or Mark or Battle. And Battle driving, and he turns it over.
Well, your point about more scorer than ball handler is a good reason that you want to move the ball and cut instead of making individual moves. There's just nowhere to go here. It's just a weak pass by Ellis. And that leads to an easy bucket on the other end. You know, you cannot guard a run out. And Arkansas has given up 3 of those in the second half in a low-scoring game. That's the difference.
Sheppard back to Trey Mitchell. Sheppard for 3. And all of a sudden, Kentucky is out to a 9-point lead.
And you wonder where Arkansas is going to find the offense to come back with 1:15 to go.
8-0 run for the Wildcats. Ellis wide left. Again, another shot with a high degree of difficulty.
Well, Kentucky's defense has forced them into a lot of challenge shots, especially challenge 2s. Little throwback off the ball screen and then relocating to the 3-point line. And if Reed Sheppard is able to shoot it from the catch spot, he's one of the top 3-point shooters, not only in the league, but in the country. Coming into the game, 55% from 3. He had made 43s on the season. That was 8th in the league coming in.
And he's 2 for 3 from 3-point range today. Got 12 points, and just as importantly, he's got 5 assists in this game.
And Reed Sheppard shooting 55% from 3, and he makes 2 threes a game, but he doesn't qualify for the league statistics on 3-point shooting.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You need 2.5 makes from 3 per game to qualify. Only 2 guys in the whole league have qualified. If they lowered it to 2, you'd have like 14 guys qualify. But he had a great freshman season. He really has.
Oh, he's been one of the top 5, top 10 freshmen in the country.
Yeah. And now Mark fouls Mitchell, but it is all slipping away here from Arkansas in the last couple of minutes.
Well, it's certainly not looking good for Arkansas with the 55.6 to go in regulation, but the kind of fight that Arkansas showed in this game, if they bring this kind of fight in every game, and then when they get Trevin Brazil back, who did not play in this game due to knee soreness, you know, there are better things on the other end for Arkansas than they've been experiencing.
They go on the road for their next 2 games, but the next one Wednesday night is against Missouri. The Tigers winless in the league. But then Arkansas goes to LSU, and then they come home to play a Georgia team. Mike White's team's having a good season. They can really score. And then Tennessee comes to town. There are not many days or nights off in a league this deep.
Previous plays on review.
And Chuck Jones telling us the play is under review. Inside the last 2 minutes, of course, you can look to see whose ball it should be.
It looked like it went off the right hand of Trey Mitchell there.
I agree.
Can we get that on tape? You saying I agree?
Sadly, no. I'll deny it. inside the final minute of regulation as they wait to find out whose ball it is. But an 8-point lead for Kentucky. Remember, Arkansas had the lead almost the entire first half, led by as many as 10 points in this game. I think Kentucky tied it a couple of times in the first.
Previous play stands, Arkansas ball.
Arkansas ball. Thank you, Chuck. But Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, didn't take the lead in this game, Jay, until in the second half, and it was by 1 point, maybe by 3, back down to 1. They've only really blown it open here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, Kentucky playing shorthanded without Rob Dillingham, who's just a dynamic scorer.
Yeah.
But just for Arkansas, you can't expect to win a game like this scoring 53 points.
And John Calipari has gotten big and good minutes out of 4 of his mainstays. Trey Mitchell, Antonio Reeves, Reed Sheppard, and DJ Wagner all have played between 32 and 36 minutes in this game. I'm not sure any of those 4 left the floor in the second half, to be honest with you. Those 4 guys have really carried Kentucky to what looks like it's going to be a win.
Boy, and in late game situations, to have Reed Sheppard with the ball, you know John Calipari is telling every one of his players, get the ball to Reed at the end of the game. And Reed, if you don't go get the ball, you're done. Because he shoots, what, 85% from the line? How about the free throws he hit at the end of that Florida game in Gainesville?
Yeah, looked like he'd been doing it for 10 years at this level. Looks so calm. You never really see the expression change. And he also never appears to sweat. He looks the same at the end of the game as he does at the beginning.
Maybe there's a deodorant commercial in his future.
He's got 14 points and 4 assists in the second half of this one.
I got you, boy.
With a win here today, Kentucky's going to go to 5-2 in the SEC. Auburn lost at Mississippi State, so that'll have Auburn and Kentucky both at 5-2, along with South Carolina. The Gamecocks won again today. And Alabama's 5-1 in the league, and again they're coming up next against LSU right here on ESPN. A good game.
Well, Kentucky still has some strides to make on the defensive end to be a championship level defense. Their offense is championship level, but their defense has a ways to go. But tonight in Bud Walton Arena was a good start. They played much tougher in this game than they played against South Carolina.
You know, you and I have done 3 of Kentucky's 4 road games in SEC play, at Florida, at A&M, and now at Arkansas. And it is true what John Calipari says. I mean, they're always going to get as much fight as the other team has when they come into their building. They're used to seeing it, but this is a team with a lot of freshmen, 6 freshmen who get a lot of minutes, and these are great, you know, learning lessons for this team as they try to improve over the course of the season.
Well, it's difficult in scouting when John Calipari, you almost don't want to show too much film of your opponent to your team, because you have to tell them, look, this is not the team we're going to get.
Right.
We're going to get their A game. And Kentucky always does. They're one of the blue blood programs in the country that everybody gets up to play.
Onyenso gets a hug from his coach. Played 25 minutes in this game. Arkansas keeps the pressure on it, but the final seconds are ticking away. And will they eventually foul Sheppard? Yes, they will, with just 8.2 to go.
You mentioned the Kentucky games we've been privileged to do. I'm headed to Lexington for the Florida game in Rupp on Wednesday, and you know what that means.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah. It also means he's going to see a great game and have fun and teach people about basketball, but it mainly means ice cream.
What's not better about all of that with ice cream?
Ice cream.
Rupp soft serve is one of the great gifts of the game.
Hey, as you found out today, it's a friend of mine who initiated the whole ice cream experience.
Finally, a benefit
of knowing me. It only took 29 years.
I always love that. So John Calipari, one of his players fouls with 1 second to go, totally unnecessary. Let him have the basket. When you turn and yell at the bench when that happens.
Yeah, Bruiser Flynn's like, what did I do?
I didn't do anything.
And that'll do it. Kentucky with a road win here in Fayetteville, 63-57. To go to 5-2 with league play. Arkansas drops to 1-6. For Jay Billis, Jess Simpson, our crew, I'm Dan Schulman. Thanks so much for watching. Let's go to Tuscaloosa along with Jimmy Dykes. Here's Tom Hart.